can definitely say a lot of Genshin Impact players are enjoying this 4.0 update, including myself. I've actually been really happy with how it's going. Not only that, but the characters, of course, have been fantastic. We've seen so many so far in the story. One in particular takes the, you know, as you could see, the top performer, the one that is the VIP on stage, however you want to say it. Lyney has been center stage this entire time, especially since he is the character that we get to play as in regards to like this whole thing. Like, he's the newest 5-star, for crying out loud. So of course he's gonna have a lot of attention on him. So today we're gonna give him even more of that attention. And how are we gonna do that? Well, you probably read the title and you've probably seen the thumbnail at this point, but we are gonna be talking about how to build your Lyney. Now, of course, for me, spoiler alert, I haven't built mine just yet, but I have my what I want build from this. But we're going to talk about how you could build your Lyney, like what materials you're going to need to ascend him from level 1 to level 90, triple crown, and of course go over some different builds of what you could do for him, and then we'll go into the trial here in a little bit. So before we get into that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. Again, guys, as you see in my videos all the time, we are sponsored by Gamersubs. If you couldn't tell by all the different stuff that I have of actual Gamersubs, they are a fantastic company. I love them and I endorse the hell out of them. I'm really happy with the fact that they have chosen me as one of their partners. They are a gluten-free, keto-friendly option if you're looking for that energy without the jitters and all the great flavors. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. Lyney, my boy, is a pyro bow user, and I am a fan of bow users. If you guys have been on this channel for a long period of time, I love my bow users, specifically Ganyu, of course. I have a lot of Ganyu memorabilia, but I love bow users in general because I like to play it from, you know, the back end and shoot. You know, maybe you could call me a Weenie Hut General, but you know what? I'm proud to wear that Weenie Hut General tag on my, you know, shirt, sleeve, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, he is a pyro bow user. So let's first talk about what you're going to need to ascend him from level 1 to level 90. It's pretty self-explanatory with every single character, and it's going to be the same just about for everything except for a few things. So please pay no mind to that. If you're new here, we're going to show you what you need. First things first, you're going to need these silvers, these fragments, these chunks, and these gemstones. Now, what's important about these, right? You're going to need 3 silvers to make a fragment, 3 fragments to make a chunk, and 3 chunks to make a gemstone. In total, you're going to need 1 of these Agat silvers, the pyro ones. You're going to need 9 of these fragments. You're going to need 9 of these chunks, and you're going to need a grand total of 6 of these gemstones. Now, where can you get these, right? You're going to be able to fight the Pyro Regisfine over in Liyue, the Pyro Hypostasis over in, I believe, yeah, Inazuma, and then the Emperor of Fire and Iron, which is the brand new crab, you know, boss that just came out this update. So we'll be seeing a little bit of him as well here in just a second. But I also want to talk about the fact that you could also get these materials from other bosses as well. The, Geovashape, the big boy, Primordial Jade Shape, or however you say it. If he's on his fire one, you could get it from him as well. You could also get it from the Baptist as well, from what I've been seeing. And of course, for big main bosses, there's not really a boss that you could get this stuff from. So it kind of sucks with that regard, but you know, it is what it is. But those are the bosses you're going to want to fight. Speaking, though, of the Fire and Iron Crab boy, Emperor Fire and Iron, you're going to need the Emperor's Resolution, which is the new boss mat that comes from him, which is going to be a grand total of 46 of those. Pretty easy. You get about 2 to 3 with each run that you do. So you're looking at about 23 runs at maximum. So there's that. Now, the new place for obviously Fountaine comes with its own specialty items. And what are one of these specialty items? As you can see, is the Rainbow Rose. No, not Rainbow Road from Mario Kart, but the Rainbow Rose. You're going to need a grand total of 168 of these, which you could farm every 2 days. So if you're like me and haven't farmed them recently, you need to get them done. And if you have friends, it makes it all the much easier because you can get all of that done in 1 day. So anybody out there want me to, you know, go into their world and steal some of their Rainbow Roses so I can finish my Lyney? Anyways, then of course you're going to need Recruits Insignias. You're going to need all of these right here, the regular Recruits Insignias, the Lieutenant's Insignias, and of course the Oh, wait, no, sorry. Recruits insignias, sergeants insignias, lieutenants insignias. Sorry. It's a little bit in the morning. Now, how many of those you're going to need? Well, we have to scroll down a little bit just to kind of get the totals because I don't have those by memory. You're going to need a grand total of 18 of the recruits insignias. You're going to need 30 of the sergeants insignias. And of course, you're going to need lieutenants insignias, about 36, as you can see from this bottom row. You can't see my cursor, but you can see that I'm highlighting them. So, but yeah, you're going to need those, and they're Fatui enemies. So if you've already beaten up a bunch of the Fatui, you're not going to have to worry too much about it. But if you haven't, you're going to need those. As we scroll down, we're going to talk about talents now. Now, this is going to be crucial because we got new talent materials. Yes, I'm going to keep scrolling up and down. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about it. So first things first, we're going to talk about if you're going to triple crown Lyney all over. Because again, it makes sense if you want to triple crown him because all of his stuff works really, really well for him. Teachings of equity. You also going to need guides of equity. And of course, the philosophies of equity. A grand total of 9 of these teachings of equity, 63 of these guides of equity, and the big one, 114 philosophies of equity. Now, of course, as we talked about before, we look at the rule of threes. We got 3 of these teachings, make a guide, and 3 of these guides, make a philosophy. Now, this just came out, so I don't expect you to be able to triple crown your, Lyney right out the gate, unless you have an exorbitant amount of things to be able to constantly farm this, like money. You're gonna need to farm these every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday when everything is open. I highly recommend that you get it done ASAP. Now, of course, also events will give these as well, and of course, your battle pass. Don't forget about your battle pass. Let me take a swig real quick. Now, let's go ahead and also dive into the insignias again, because you are going to need more of those. You're going to need 18 more of these recruits insignias. You're going to need 66 of the sergeants insignias, and then 93 of the lieutenants insignias. These, again, are from the Fatui agent, so you don't need to worry about farming them too much if you've already done it. If you're new to the game, find a friend, farm them. It's worth it. And honestly, guys, biggest thing about co-op, and I know that a lot of people don't like it, but you can farm together. So if you plan a day with 3 of your friends, you're gonna get 4 worlds worth of drops. That's crucial. That is absolutely crucial. So if you have friends, or if you're in a Discord with a bunch of people who like playing Genshin and farming, set it up. It's worth it. I know sometimes co-op ain't worth it, but this is worth it when you're farming. Now, outside of me talking about that, let's go ahead and talk about these little things right here. The primordial green blooms that you get from the Apep world boss fight. You're going to need 18 of these in total, followed by 3 of these crowns of insights, and that's for triple crowning. Now, overall, for Lyney here, right? You're going to need a grand total in Mora of about 7.4 million, I think it is. Either 7.1 to 7.4. I can't remember the exact total, but it's a lot to triple crown and awaken your Lyney from level 1 to level 90. So remember that. It's going to be a long grind, but if you do triple crown your Lyney, I wouldn't blame you. Speaking of Lyney, now we're in the actual domain. As you can see, I have the trial characters, but I want to talk about this Lyney first off, because this is around what I'm going to be building my Lyney. My Lyney is currently level 70, no artifacts, and has the first great mage, and I need to farm that weapon. So, let's talk about it. Attributes. We're looking at 83 to 152. Honestly, if you build your stuff correctly, you could go more so a 60 to probably as much as a 250. That's going to be bonkers on what you could do with Lyney. Energy recharge is a fantastic thing that you want to make sure to farm up, but we're going to go ahead and talk about that here in just a second. Let me go ahead and pull up my notes here. So, let's go ahead and talk about weapons. Now, obviously, the first great mage is his weapon. It makes sense for it, and it's perfect to him, because for his kit, you want to make sure that you're running as many pyro as you can. So, like Bennett as your support, you can probably put Zhangling, obviously, as we see in here. But you could also have another character on the side with that. Plus, this goes really, really well with his charge attacks on top of that. And the stack stuff is pretty dang good. The first great mage is a really good bow for him, and it makes sense that it's good for him. The next bow, the other bow that's on the banner, Aqua Simulacra. If you're going for any of these 5-star bows, they work fantastic for Lyney, right? Now, if we're talking about 4 stars, there's plenty of options there. The new Scion of the Blazing Sun 4-star that comes from the Battle Pass, mwah, really good for Lyney here. I will say that. Probably his best 4-star, in my personal opinion. You could argue other ones, of course, but I'm going to say that. You also have Prototype Crescent. Prototype Crescent is a really, really good one for him as well. And of course, I believe that one you could actually, you don't have to do much to get it. So there's that. Now, of course, you could always go for other 5-star bows. I'm seeing Sip Sip here has actually said to you, you could use Amos Bow or Skyward Harp, which is, you know, plausible. Like, it works well, but not in the top 4 in my personal opinion. So there's that. Now, let's go ahead and dive into artifacts here. The new artifact set is his best set. The Marachusi Hunter, or however you say it, the Marabusi, you know, whatever the heck it is his best set. Now, we can't see what they put on here, but I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to need to work on for your Lyney here. Now, for the sands, right here, you want attack percentage. Easy peasy. He's going to be a DPS or main DPS bow user. It makes sense. For your, or is this the sands? I can't tell. It's hard to tell with this. No, that's the sands. This is the goblet, okay? For the goblet, you want pyro damage bonus. Again, your main DPS makes sense. For your circlet, either crit rate or crit damage, depending on what you're offsetting on. Now, your main stats should be crit rate, crit damage, energy recharge, attack percentage. You could also throw an EM if you want. Makes perfect sense, but focus on those 4 being your main 4. Now, for other artifacts that you could use, right? You could use a 4-piece, from what I'm seeing here, Lava Walkers. I personally, like, yeah, you could use it because it makes sense. You're using 3 pyro units in a single team. So I could see it. I wouldn't go for it personally because I think you're going to go much more with the Marachasi Hunter. You could go 2-piece Marachasi, 2-piece Crimson Witch, or you could even go 4-piece Vermilion. And if you're feeling really like, I wouldn't. I think that honestly you should stick to Marachusi Hunter. It's the perfect set for him, right? Now, let's talk about his talents, right? Talent priority is pretty standard, to be honest. Like, I think it's pretty much almost equal, in my personal opinion, because his whole kit revolves around each other. Would I say that there's more that you should do? Probably normal attacks, since you're going to be using the charged attack. And then the skill, because the skill goes with the charge attack too. Like when you shoot out your cat, it does the charge attack. So let's go ahead and actually look into this, right? So his charge attack performs a more precise aim shot with increased damage. While aiming, flames will run across, blah, 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 blah. Let's go ahead and talk about this for a second. Charge 1 fires off a pyro-infused arrow. We already know that. Charge 2 fires off a prop arrow that deals pyro damage, and upon hit, it will summon a Grin Malkin hat, which is this little cat boy. When firing the prop arrow, when Lyney has more than 60% of his HP, he will consume a portion of his HP to obtain 1 prop surplus stack. I hate reading when I'm super tired. Max 5 stacks. The effect will be removed after the character spends 30 seconds out of combat. So you could go 29 seconds and put him right back in. The lowest Lyney could drop to through this method is 60% of his health. The Grand Malkin Cat can taunt nearby enemies and attract their attacks. Each opponent can only be taunted by the hat every 5 seconds. This hat will inherit a percentage of Lyney's max HP. If destroyed, or if its duration expires, it will fire off a pyrotechnic strike at 1 nearby opponent, dealing pyro damage. Only 1 hat can exist at a time, unless I believe you get a C1, which you get 2 of, which is pretty dang cool. Now his skill. When used, he will clear all current prop surplus stacks that he has and deal AoE pyro damage to opponents in front of him. Damage will be increased according to the stacks cleared, and this also will regenerate Lyney's HP based off of his max HP. When a Grid Malkin hat created by Lyney is on the field, and fireworks will cause it to explode, dealing AoE pyro damage equal to that of the pyrotechnic strike. The damage dealt through the Grid Malkin cat in this way is considered charge attack damage. That's why you also want to make sure you're upgrading your charge attack. Now, his burst. When the Grid Malkin cat gets close to opponents, it will send flames falling down to them, dealing at most 1 instance of pyro damage to each opponent. When the duration ends, he will dismiss the Grin Malkin Cat and ignite fireworks that deal AoE pyro damage, summon one Grin Malkin Cat hat, and grant him one surplus stack. Now, his first ascension, if Lyney consumes HP when firing off a prop arrow, the Grin Malkin Cat that summons the arrow will, upon hitting the opponent, restore 3 energy to Lyney and increase damage dealt by 80% of his attack. And then the second ascension, the damage Lyney deals to opponents affected by pyro will receive the following buffs. Increase the damage dealt by 60%. Each pyro party member other than Lyney will cause the damage dealt to increase by an additional 20%. This is why you want to pair him up with more pyro users. So, makes sense. Now, as you can see, the trial team is Lyney, Qingque Shinobu, Xiangling, and Bennett. The main goal is to get Bennett's burst off, go for Xiangling, get Qingque's E off, maybe even her burst, and then just start hammering with Lyney. You want to get as much surplus stacks as you can. Right now he has 1. So, first things first, let's get the charge. We're gonna get another stack here. Now we're gonna start getting all this stuff, getting it going. You're gonna go up, and then you're gonna get another stack. Boom. We're gonna get another stack. Boom. We're gonna get another stack, and then activate. Boom. You see all the explosions right there. That's perfect. That's ultimately what you want to do. And then this Grin Malkin hat right here is fantastic. Now let's go ahead and start working on another stack because I want to show the damage output that you can do. Let's see, come on. All right, let's get it. We're gonna get that. Boom, get the burst going. Get the E.
Here comes the finesse.
Get that, and then watch. Watch this. Look at that beautiful damage right there. Lyney is kind of cracked. Now, granted, I could have activated that and got more like damage probably from the skill because of the stacks. But I really wanted to showcase actually that burst because I wanted to show you how well that he can do. Because this dude is pretty much insane with his kit, bro. I'll tell you that right now. His kit is really good. People who say that Lyney is not great really don't know how to use him, and I think that honestly, he's not one of the best 5-stars out there, but the damage he could deal is pretty far up there. So as a main DPS, he's pretty damn good. And if you haven't done so yet, you need to get him ready to go. Honestly, I'm excited to finally build mine, and hopefully I can show off more damage dealt on mine than the trial here. Now, honestly, y'all, that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you liked the content. If you did, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and comment down below what you think. I want to engage with y'all, and it helps the algorithm a lot. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we're trying to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. It's August. We still have a long way to go, so spread the word. Love you all to death. Thank you so much. And as always, we'll catch you all in the next video. Please take care. Be safe.